is Hana, and today I'm going to be telling you the story of Little Red Riding Hood. A little introduction to the story is a European fairy tale about a young girl and a big bad wolf. Its origins can be traced back to the 17th century, and the story theme is basically listening to your mother, don't dawdle around, and don't talk to strangers. This story's original language was in French, and it's been passed around through a few different authors, and it is intended for children to hear the story. So without further ado, here's the story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near the forest. Whenever she went out, the little girl wore a Red Riding cloak, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go visit her grandmother, as it had been a while since they had seen each other. "Can I go visit Grandma?" "That's a good idea," her mother said, so they packed a nice basket for Little Red Riding Hood to take to her grandmother. When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red cloak and kissed her mother goodbye. "Remember, go straight to Grandma's house, don't waddle along the way, and please, don't talk to strangers in the woods." "Don't worry, Mommy, I'll be careful." But when Little Red Riding Hood had noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, she forgot her promise to her mother, and she picked a few flowers and watched the butterflies flit about for a while, listened to the frogs croaking, and then picked up a few more. Little Red Riding Hood was enjoying the warm summer days so much that she didn't notice the dark shadow approaching out of the forest behind her. Suddenly, a wolf appeared beside her. "What are you doing here, little girl?" "I'm on my way to see Grandmother, who lives through the forest near the brook." Then she realized how late she was and quickly excused herself, rushing down the path to Grandmother's house. The wolf in the meantime took a shortcut, and the wolf let out a little breath while running and arrived at Grandma's and knocked lightly on the door. "Oh, thank goodness, dear. Come in. I was worried sick something had happened to you in the forest," said Grandma, thinking that the knock was her granddaughter. The wolf let himself in. Poor Granny did not have time to say another word before the wolf gobbled her up. The wolf let out a satisfied burp and then poked through Granny's wardrobe to find a nightgown that he liked. He added a flurry sleeping cap, and for good measures, dabbed some of Granny's perfume behind his pointy ears. A few minutes later, Red Riding Hood had a knock on the front door. "Maggie, come on. Sit." The wolf jumped into bed and pulled the covers over his nose. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood." "Oh, lovely dear, come in." When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she scarcely recognized her grandmother. "Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something the matter?" "Oh, no, I just have a bit of a cold." "But Grandmother, what big ears you have." "Oh, the better to hear you with." "But Grandmother, what big eyes you have." "Oh, the better to see you with." "But Grandmother, what big teeth you have." leapt out of bed and began to chase the little girl almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandmother, but a hungry wolf. She ran across the room through the door shouting, "Help! Help! Wolf!" A woodman who was chopping logs nearby heard her cry and ran towards the cottage as fast as he could. He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out the poor grandmother, who was a bit frazzled by the whole experience, but still in one piece. "Oh, Grandma, I was so scared I'll never speak to strangers or dawdle in the forest again." There, child. You've learned an important lesson. Thank goodness you've shouted enough for the kind woodsman to hear you. The woodman knocked out the wolf and carried him deep into the forest, where he wouldn't be bothered people any longer. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother had a nice lunch and a long chat. "Come on, Wolf, let's go." Thank you, and that was my story of Little Red Riding Hood.